Hello guys and welcome to this new video on PT's prediction file practice session from alphapt.com. So once again I'm using the alphaPT's prediction file to do some demo practices and give you some tips and tricks on how to deal with some of the most important types of questions in PTE. So today we'll be looking at some of the describe images type questions, and we'll also be doing some demo practices from websites such as AP Uni. So I hope you guys will stick along. And besides that, we have also made videos for repeat sentence and read aloud type questions. So if you guys are looking for some easy tips and tricks, um, or if you guys are having a hard time getting a good score in read aloud or repeat sentences, do check those out. But if you guys are now practicing the describe image type questions, or if you're having trouble with this particular type of question, then this video is just for you. Anyways, mm, having a little look at the describe image type of question. So it is from the speaking and writing section, and it is around 3 to 4 number of questions in the PD exam, and it is a solely speaking um, based question. So all the marks that you get from the describe image totally goes to the speaking section. So if you guys are having trouble or difficulties in getting a good score in the speaking category of your PD scores, then describe image might be something you could improve on. Anyways, so let's look at the first question over here. So there are a lot of different templates out there in the market that you can use for the describe image, but whatever template you use, guys, the main three things that you are supposed to be focusing on are definitely your mm, content,
There's a very
pronunciation, and fluency, right? So this is the AP Uni website, and I just gave a describe image practice from one of the random questions out there. So content, pronunciations, and fluency are the three categories in which you are marked. This is the same for read aloud, repeat sentence, or any other type of speaking or um, reading related types of questions. So content. So what are you supposed to do to get a good score in the content category of the describe image? You are supposed to mind these three things. Note this down. The info in the picture, it could be title, it could be all the keywords that are there in the picture. Like for example, in this particular picture over here, there are lots of words. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing in the sense that you can easily get a good score in the content category. You can just simply speak these words out or phrases out to get a good score. So content basically occupies or deals with
there's a very interesting picture.
picture info. So whatever keywords are there in the picture, you speak them out, you'll get a good content. Besides that, you're also supposed to put in some comparative sentences out there, which are basically sentences with words such as the highest is in this particular category or the lowest is in this particular category. Like the largest portion is occupied by this particular thing, or the lowest value or proportion is occupied by this thing. So put in those words such as highest, lowest, largest, smallest, then this criteria will also be fulfilled. And finally, at the end of your speaking, it is important for you to conclude with a conclusion statement, which could basically start with something like, overall, this chart is very interesting, or to conclude, this chart is very interesting, thank you, anything like that. It is important for you to mention those words in particular, overall, or to conclude, in conclusion, things like that. So don't miss those out, and you'll definitely get a good score in the content section. Now, dealing with pronunciation, a lot of us might have a little problem with pronunciation because pronunciation is not so easy for a lot of you. But the most important thing is clarity. So whatever you speak, it should be clear. So a clear speech is important. A smooth tone is important. If you have a voice which is not very clear, then you might have difficulty getting a good score in the pronunciation category, even if you're using a good template and you have a good amount of fluency. With reasonable pauses, of course, you should speak with reasonable pauses. You should not speak too fast without any breaks. Don't speak like that, guys. Whenever there are full stops somewhere, you should take a short pause. At the same time, it's the same thing for fluency. In order to get a good score in fluency, you should speak continuously, but with reasonable pauses. Mind this, guys. And you should also speak at an average speed, not too fast, not too slow. Okay, so let me do this question once again. And I do not follow any template in particular. I just look at the chart, do my self analysis in short, and just speak it out. I do not actually do any kind of analysis in particular. Okay, so just look at me or hear me out trying to solve or trying to get a good score in this particular describe image question. So let's do this once again. So talking a little bit more about describe image, 25 seconds will be provided to you prior to answering the question. So in that time, you can look at the different things, components, different parts, different words, and what exactly is happening around here, right? So after that, you can start speaking. There's a very interesting picture in front of me. I can see lots of different elements in this picture. There is no particular title. Besides that, I can see different words such as topic selection, proofreading, revision and editing, writing and integration. I can also see data collection, extensive literature review, outline and structure development, and preliminary research. Besides that, I can see it says to be clear and based on theory and gather evidence. Overall, this chart is very interesting. I do not see any highest or lowest points or comparisons in this chart. But to conclude, I must say this chart is very interesting. Thank you. Okay, so wait, what just happened? Hmm, I guess I should do it once again. Let's stop this. Let's do this once again. I think I mistakenly pressed the redo. Let's do this once again. And my answers will be different every time. So, um, yeah. There's a very interesting chart in front of me. There is no title in this chart in particular, but I can see different elements in this chart, such as topic selection, proofreading, revision, and editing. I can also see writing and integration and data collection. Besides that, I can also see extensive literature review and outline and structure development, and it says to be clear. Besides that, I can also see words such as preliminary research. Overall, this chart is very interesting, and I do not see any highest or lowest parts or elements in this chart to make comparisons on. But I must say, it is an interesting piece of chart. Thank you. Okay, so it was recorded, and I spoke for a full 40 seconds. It's not necessary for you to speak that long, but let's give this a shot. There's a very interesting chart in front of me. There is no title in this chart in particular, but I can see different elements in this chart, such as topic selection, proofreading, revision, and editing. I can also see writing and integration and data collection. Besides that, I can also see extensive literature review and outline and structure. There's a very interesting chart. Okay, so I did not get that good of a score in this particular type of question. Let's try some other way. Maybe I spoke for too long. Maybe I spoke too slow. Um, what about this? Nothing in particular. Let's do this once again, guys. But I'll speak it a little differently this time. Let's redo this. There's a very interesting chart in front of me. The title of this chart is Topic Selection and Proofreading. I can see words such as revision and editing, writing and integration, data collection. I can also see extensive literature review, preliminary research, and outline and structured development. Overall, this chart is very interesting. Thank you for the question. Okay, so I spoke a little faster this time, but there were reasonable pauses between my sentences. And besides that, I did not
There's a very
spell
interesting
everything
chart.
out. I spoke just the titles of those different boxes that were there. So let's see how much I score.
There's a very interesting chart in front of.
Okay, so fluency was better, pronunciation was better, but content definitely wasn't, because I don't think I kept any particular conclusion or any comparative words or sentences. But if you do the same speaking in Alpha PT website, then you definitely get almost an 85 or 89 out of 90. Honestly speaking, guys, AP Uni has gotten a little strict, a little more strict in describe image category, and a lot of you are struggling to get good score in this particular question type. So you know where you stand, and if you're not getting a proper score in AP Uni, does not mean that you are not performing well. Try some other websites such as Alpha PTE or Guruli, which also gives you a good or a decent degree of check. Let's try a different kind of question. Maybe okay, maybe this one. Let's start. There's a very interesting chart in front of me. I can see different boxes and elements in this chart, such as budget creation, tax planning. I can also see analysis, auditing, and bookkeeping. I do not think there is any particular flow in this chart. I do not see any highest or lowest elements. But overall, this chart is black and white, and in conclusion, it is very interesting. And I think it talks about budget creation, tax planning, analysis, auditing, and bookkeeping. Thank you. Okay, so this time I spoke for around 30 seconds. Let's submit this and check how much I scored.
There's a very interesting chart in front of me. I can see different boxes and elements in this chart, such as budget creation, tax planning. I can also see analysis, auditing, and bookkeeping. I do not think there is any particular. There's a very interesting chart.
Okay, so not a good score again, guys. I do not know where I am lacking in particular, but let's do it once again. I'll do it a little quicker and speak for around 15 seconds at most. There's a very interesting chart in front of me. The chart is about budget creation. It is also about tax planning and analysis and auditing and bookkeeping. Overall, this chart is very confident and interesting. There is no highest or lowest point. Thank you. Okay, just 14 seconds. Hmm.
There's a very interesting chart in front of me. The chart is about.
The accent also does matter in this particular
There's a very interesting chart
test.
in front of me. The
Now,
chart is about.
look at this. Fluency was awesome, pronunciation was great. Unfortunately, content was too little. Hmm. Let's do this once again. There is a very interesting chart in front of me. The title of this chart is Budget Creation, Tax Planning and Analysis. I can see different tables and different groups of bookkeeping and auditing. I can also see charts of budget creation, tax planning, and analysis. Overall, this chart is very interesting, but there is no highest or lowest point in this chart. I think budget creation is the first and bookkeeping is the last. Thank you.
There's a very interesting chart in front of me. The title of this chart is Budget Creation, Tax Planning and Analysis. I can see different tables and different groups of bookkeeping and auditing. I can also see chart. There's a very interesting chart in.
Okay, so what happened in this particular session? So I got a 90 out of 90 in fluency. I was a little faster than I normally am, so maybe the speed mattered. Regarding pronunciation, I don't think there's a vast difference in score. And content was better this time because I mentioned those words: budget creation, tax planning, analysis, and those stuff twice. Because to be clear, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keywords in this chart. So I recommend you guys speak out at least 15 to 20 keywords. And so, in order to do that, you'll have to repeat those words again and again. So, try to maintain 15 to 20 keywords in order to get a good content. And besides that, I did this particular question 3 times. I spoke for about 24 seconds in this particular session, and the score was quite good.
There is a very
This
interesting chart
is
in.
an amazing score. Um, so I hope you guys will also score better as you practice more, because I did it 3 times and you can clearly see here I started with a 68, went up to 69, and then straight to 86. So keep practicing, and if you have any issues, um, you can leave some comments down in the comment section. I guess that is all there is for today. And wait, finally, do download this prediction file collection and do practice some of the frequently asked questions from this file. I won't say the questions will definitely come from this, but if you do a good amount of practice for all these questions, you can definitely perform well in your test as well. So that is it, guys. Thank you.